so you are Karen Kingsbury.
Yes.
And you are Tyler.
Yes.
Son of Karen.
That's right.
And so I want to know, you wrote this book, A Thousand Tomorrows, and now it's on film. You also wrote the script together, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me about that process and how that was?
Well, I was busy writing books, and I usually write about 2 grown-up novels, a year. We have kids' books we write too. So I don't have time to do it all, and I knew that if we could write the screenplay that we would capture the book, and that's what would matter to the readers, is that we really got the story. So I called Tyler, who is one of my favorite screenwriters, and I said, hey, would you be open to doing this? And he would need to do the first draft. So we outlined together, and then you took the first draft.
Yeah, I think what's unique about this kind of working relationship is I know the book so well. And I remember when she was outlining it and it was coming out. And so getting to be so close to the material and know her heart as a storyteller and the way that she wants to honor the story and honor her fans and give them a really genuine representation of the story, I felt like it was my pleasure and honor and a little bit of pressure, to do it right. So, but it was great. We outlined and had an idea of where we wanted to go. And once I finished the episodes, we would get together and we would do sort of an old school table read. And we would just read it out loud.
Put on some music that matched the episode.
Yeah,
it was really fun.
Just kind of make sure that it all worked.
Right.
And when she felt good about it, then we would move on to the next episode. So it worked really well. And the response from the audience and the fans have been so positive. I think it was a really, really great collaborative effort. So.
Yeah, I'm so thankful for how it turned out. I couldn't be happier. And the same with PureFlix, with Sony PureFlix. They loved the scripts, and so we were in accord right from the beginning, which made for a great template for them to make the film and the series. We didn't have any input at that point, but they did a phenomenal job.
Awesome. Now, why did you decide to make it into a film?
Well, they approached us.
Okay.
So PureFlix came and Sony, one of the representatives from Sony, and he said, we'd like to see 1,000 Tomorrows be a series on the streaming service on PureFlix. And so, again, I knew I was busy with writing books, but that if we could control the writing part of it, we would be happy about it. I did research on PureFlix and really love it. They've got great content, and they're leaning into the reality that things don't need to be sanitized for a Christian audience to enjoy it, or for any audience. It doesn't even have to be a Christian audience that needs to lean into the more difficult topics. And I'm seeing that on PureFlix. So it felt like a great match right from the start.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think the story is so compelling. It's such a great, to be in the world of the rodeo, to have this angry bull rider and a sick barrel racer. I think it's one of her best stories that she's written. It's an amazing love story, so it just felt like the right time to share this one.
Side note, it's my mom's favorite one of your books.
Oh, that's
sweet.
That's amazing.
So, yeah,
I think it's the love story, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we just don't have enough good love stories. And I think 1,000 Tomorrows is one of those ones that's sort of like a walk to remember, that just stays with you. And it's timeless to that end. So it was a great time to bring it to life.
Awesome. What is the takeaway from the film? What do you want audiences to walk away with?
Yeah, I think for me it would be a perspective on eternity. Because, there's loss that's dealt with in this story. 1,000 Tomorrows there's a reason it's called 1,000 Tomorrows. But that doesn't mean it has to be, the end of our hope. There's a Down syndrome character. The angry bull rider is Cody, and the sick barrel racer is Allie Daniels, and Carl Joseph is the Down syndrome brother of Cody. And he has some beautiful things that he says, and he says them so well, as only he could, about heaven and about how beautiful heaven is. And almost like, hey, are you going to go to heaven? Like almost like, you might say, oh, you're going to Disneyland? Like, he's excited about it for Allie, that whenever that time might be. And I think that's that eternal perspective, that you have something to look forward to if you have Jesus as your Savior.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think to support or maybe even counter that, right? Because for Cody, it's hard. The struggle of life and loss is hard, and it's okay to be real and vulnerable with your emotions and say, this is hard, and I don't feel like this is fair. But taking it to the Lord and taking it to people that care about you and not carrying that burden alone. Moving forward in pain or in suffering, but being strong and courageous and knowing that like she says, this is Earth and it is temporary. But while you're here, while you're experiencing those emotions, are you doing life with people who care about you and who are there to support you? And I think that's why this show is resonating as well, is because people are able to talk about some of these bigger issues together, and it really starts to pierce their heart and their mind.
Great. What do you hope audiences will experience when they're in the theater?
You know, we got a chance to see episode 6 in a big theater. We did that in Nashville and then, in Dallas. And it was quite different than what you would experience being around a television set. Like you usually would watch PureFlix would be at home or on a device or, your screen at home. But the big screen gave us a chance to hear collectively hundreds of people pulling out their tissues. Laughing when it was appropriate to laugh and crying when it was appropriate to cry. And, I think Tyler brings a really great perspective of age difference. Like, he's younger, so to him it's like a story that shows you how you can get through the hard things in life and be called to do the thing God's made you to do. And it's beautiful. It's beautifully challenging that way on life. And I was saying for me, it's that eternal perspective that life doesn't end here. So I think we cover the generations too really well with this story. And so I think that's something I would love them.
Yeah, and I think that the quality of the show speaks volumes when you watch it on a big screen, because it is a show that's streaming. You watch it, on your from your phone to your TV at home or your computer. But to get to do this special celebration like we have here in Dallas and in Nashville, to watch it on the big screen, it actually lets you see what a beautiful show it is. Like, it works on the big screen, and the shots are incredible, the acting's incredible, and it's a really great way to celebrate such a beautiful season of 1,000 Tomorrows.
Yes. Thank you so much for talking to me today. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thank
having
you.
us.
It was great.
Thank you.